welcome everyone to this program that is the Tantric Shamanic Somatic Healing Certification Program that is happening live, and it's also going to have an online component to it. And it's going to happen here in Florida. So we're really, really excited to bring this amazing goddess that's going to be working with me at Sacred Love Temple to create a space where we're going to come and learn. So we're really excited. So how are you feeling today, Francesca?
I actually am really, really excited and moved and inspired that we're collaborating to create this year-long program that has really the gold standard in the World Sexology Association, really has the developing gold standard in Neo-Tantra for ethical practice, that we're bringing all of these very, very current cutting edge practices and recovery from trauma all together, stirring them together into a jambalaya for all of you. I feel really blessed that we're doing this and sharing this. And I'm excited to hear what people are feeling drawn to after we give them a bit more information. How about you? What's stirring for you? Are you ready to jump in?
I am excited. I've been working on this, especially these presentations, because I desire for everybody to be clear, like what it is that we're offering. I know that when Francesca and we get together and we start talking, it's like we never stop talking because we're so passionate about what we do. And I find that it's really important for us to be focused and clear and actually help you to understand like what it is that we actually creating for you. If you decide to help other people to heal emotional sexual trauma in a way that is profound, that also that makes you feel comfortable doing it. Are you being called to step into a new emotional and sexual healing paradigm through Tantric Shamanic Somatic practices? Are you ready to take your transformational practice to a next professional level? Are you ready to step into your leadership power, create transformative experiences and build community? If you answer yes to any of these questions, the Teach program is for you, and we're really excited to share with you what is this about. So just a quick overview of what did that look like. It's going to be an in-person experience and also it's going to be an online experience. The in-person experience is going to happen here in Sarasota, Florida. We have an international airport. So for anybody that is traveling from other parts of the country or even outside of the country, it is available to come to this space. We can talk about it more and when we talk about the logistics of it. These are the weekends that we're looking at. We're looking at August the 3rd, November the 3rd, February the 3rd, April the 6th, July the 14th. One of the things that you're going to learn is that April the 6th to the 9th is going to be an immersion experience at the Soli Luna Tantric Shamanic Festival. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. The online experience pretty much going to be about progress coaching once a month and the clinical support coaching as well once a month. And we're going to also talk more about that. But that in general. So what is the Tantric Shamanic Somatic Healing, Francesca?
You know, it's such, you know, like what are all these word salad, you know, that we've put together, Tantric Shamanic Somatic. And when we're looking at Tantra, the way that we're defining it is we're really combining practices of Neo-Tantra, which started more in the 70s and 80s with Osho. We're combining Buddhist Tantra, Hindu Tantra, Taoist sexual wellness, and cross-cultural sacred eros. We're really including all of that in what we're sharing in this year-long program, which goes into, from various cultures and practices, ritual, ceremony, the power of intention, the mind healing power of breath and energy, the focus of energy, how to deepen compassion and utilize it as a conscious practice, even when we're not getting our way. Like that's the exciting part, when we can use these things, even when we're not getting our way, even when people are disagreeing with us, even when something is very intense around us, we can still use these and presence. When we look at shamanism, so I would say just one more second about the Tantra and cross culture, is that we're a little distinct from how a lot of other programs might be training, in that we're really looking cross-culturally. We're really identifying, where does this come from? Where does this come from? Where does this come from? And really supporting our clinicians and our practitioners to be able to support someone with whatever religion they're part of. And even if they're agnostic or atheist, we give you the language for that. In terms of shamanism, shamanism really means multiple planes of reality are equally valid. Dream time, emotions, the past, the present, the future, the ancestors. And when we start to practice, how do we identify with these multiple planes of reality? How do we discern the different voices or inputs? And how do we utilize what we're taking in for the purpose of creating or restoring harmony? That is a shaman. That is a shaman. And some of you probably already are shamans. You're thinking, wait, I do that. Wait, I notice when things are out of harmony in the body, in a community, in a relationship, in a person's psyche. Oh, wait, I do get messages in different ways. And sometimes it can be overwhelming. We'll be deepening that training. One of the key trainings as a shaman is, how do you discern what to listen to and when? And how do you sometimes shield or ground, considering how energy sensitive we all are? And how do we, from our huge kit, our huge toolbox that all of us are already coming with, how do we know when to use what? Then we're moving into the somatic, verbal, or touch-based practices that really support the client to recover, discover, uncover themselves, to attune to their own body, to rewrite and rewire the brain from trauma, to be able to be resilient, responsive, collaborative versus reactive, defensive. This includes empowering the client's voice, boundaries, and pacing. And the training from that comes from psychology, sexology, the somatics that are in recovery from trauma, and that World Association of Sexology standard of what is it to be a collaborative, ethical healer with another human being. And then healing facilitator, when we're that healing facilitator, we are that collaborator. And what we're stepping into, when we say healer, we are not the savior. The root of healing, health, and wholeness are all, and holiness are all the same. It's once again that very shamanic, restoring harmony, and the human being's own access to that. So we are the collaborator. We are the collaborator with all our skill sets and theirs. We're the collaborator with the world and the many planes of existence and what's happening with them. We are, in a sense, that divine and skilled collaborator. And all of that takes that year to really be able to practice, integrate, and the power of what the Tantric Shamanic Somatic Healing Program is founded on is the integrity of who we're being in the world. So when I say integration, it's integration from the inside out.
And who is this training for? Who may benefit from this training, Francesca?
Well, who wouldn't? But in a sense, I will also cover who wouldn't, because of course, nothing is going to be the right thing for everyone. And this is a great match for someone who is an avid learner, always committed to taking themselves to the next level in terms of information, education, skill, but also personal practice. It can absolutely add to the skill set and the private practice of a sex educator, a sexuality resource manager, a medical professional, a psychotherapist, a sex counselor, a sex coach, massage therapists, sexological body workers, surrogates, erotic service providers. One of my personal passions is I really believe that all erotic service providers need to be trained in sexology and trained in the healing arts, because many people will go to them before they'll go to any other clinician. Somatic healers, nurses, health educators, behavioral health specialists, really almost every type of clinician that is called to restoring wholeness, heart, body, mind, spirit, and eros. The clinician that really is called to saying, how do we support all of that into harmony for someone? Not just their nutrition, not just their communication, not just some knot in their body, but somebody who's saying, I'm called to the holistic view of a human being in which their life force and eros, as well as their spirit and their emotions, are part of what brings them wholeness. And people will be able to choose, and we'll go into that in a little bit, whether they want to practice in a more hands-on modality. You'll be learning it, but ultimately you'll choose, am I wanting to practice more hands-on in some way, or am I wanting to practice still somatically? And yet, for whatever personal ethical reasons, not touch the client, and will be trained in both and how to choose what might be best for the way you practice.
Thank you. So one of the things that I'm really excited about the certification training is that we created the opportunity for us to be certified in different ways. We can be a Tantric Shamanic Somatic Healing Coach for anybody who desires to be able to coach their clients. Then also we're going to have the Tantric Shamanic Somatic Healing Therapist, the one also engaged with somatic body work, somatic, experiences, and also coaching. We also going to have the Tantric Shamanic Somatic Healing Event Producer. So anybody who is desiring to, gain the tools and the skills to create events that help people transform their life. And this is one of the things I'm really passionate about, like building community and building events where anyone and everyone can access our work, and it's not too expensive for them to work with us. Like, this is the reason why I'm so passionate about creating events, because it's one of the ways that a lot of people can work with me if they cannot do it for ABC reason, coaching on somatic work one-on-one. So immersion events, short event, retreats, festival is going to be a great way to help people to transform their life and a big scale. We also going to have, like, if they want to do everything, the coaching, the hands-on body work, somatic work, and the event production is the Tish Master, right? But again, we all about customize the experience through our students, and also to make a custom certification. So we will figure out if there's, going to be something that you desire to be called, be certified as something, like we'll work with you. Francesca, I know that you're very passionate about that one. So you want to talk more about that?
I am excited about that. So when I talk to different clinicians, and this could be sex coaches, this could be psychotherapists, this could be nurses, this could be body workers, this could be erotic service providers. You all come with your own background and your own training and your own vision for how you want to work. Where you want to, maybe you want to work in a collaborative way with psychotherapists, or with doctors, or with pelvic floor specialists, or with something else. So you want to be able to really craft and call yourself a tantric, maybe just tantric somatic coach, or maybe a tantric healer practitioner. Maybe you want to call yourself a somatic shamanic sexology coach. That we want to support you within the integrity of what we teach, to actually have that title framed in your office or on your website that you can stand with pride on and talk with about who you are and what you were trained, and what that meaning, the credibility of that training is to anyone in your world. So we will work with you to actually craft a title at 1 o'clock, to craft a title that's exactly right for how you're going to work with the world and within the integrity of what you're being trained in.
Thank you. And that is my computer always reminding me about the time, and I don't know how to get it out of my computer. And that's what happened when I became a second time mom, and I had to time myself really, really, really well. And when we talk about that, like how it is that we're gonna be able to actually create the life that we desire, while at the same time we live in harmony within our own relationship, at home, with our children, with everybody that we love. Because one of the things I'm really passionate about, I'm really committed to, is that we can help the world and we can create harmony and we create amazing experiences. But what if the people in our own home are suffering because we are lacking there? What if they are being mistreated and we abandon them, right? Because yes, we have this vision about helping so many people, and many times we look forward so much that we forget to turn around and see the people that are in our home that need us the most. We really had to be committed to being integrity with ourselves and being integrity with our relationship. And this is one of the things that Francesca and I, we're really passionate about with each other, because it's like how it is that we're going to hold ourselves accountable to being integrity with what it is that we're teaching. So you just experience a little bit of my accountability computer voice. So we were talking about, the sessions, right? And one of the things that I really kind of like find fascinating is that Francesca and I, we actually been working on these 3 levels of sessions for all these times. And when we came together to create this amazing training, we realized that there is like levels and there's ways of sessions and the types of sessions. So Francesca, please share with us, like, what are these 3 types of sessions?
Yeah, and once again, as we're speaking, I'm really inviting all of you to be mapping across how you already work, how you want to work, where you already feel strong in, and where you want to develop yourself, and where you want to be in a year. Where in August of 2023, where do you want to be practicing? How do you want to be practicing? Do you want to expand into your life, into your making a difference in the world? We actually already live these 3 levels, and we're bringing in Lucia's case, decades, in my case, over 35 years of working in these 3 levels of empowering and compassionate coaching. Now, this includes sexology. This includes intimacy coaching, relationship coaching, accurate sex information coaching, and in a container and in a practice that supports our clients to, even in the coaching, hear themselves more clearly, discover themselves more fully, deepen into empathy and compassion for themselves and the people that they're in relatedness to. I really want to say that all of what I do is under a mission of creating a world of inner peace, harmonious relationships, and sexuality experienced as a blessing for those who choose to be sexual. So we learn the coaching practices that support that, and to deepen or expand what you already have, drawing from Sharon Ellison's Taking the War Out of Words, drawing from nonviolent communication, drawing from several modalities, including Terry Reel's relational coaching, to support the conversation, the dialogue, the inquiry that transforms the world. And then we go into the somatic sexology sessions, where we start to deepen into using an inner aspect method that draws from Jungian psychology, shamanism, psychodrama, draws from a Gestalt. Many, both shamanic and psychotherapeutic modalities have been brought together to really rewire the brain where it rewires. So imagine this is your brain. If you can see me, my hand represents the brain, is that it's in a little kind of almost half fist, where the knuckles represent the prefrontal cortex, the thumb represents the limbic system, and the wrist represents the brain stem, Trauma wires in at the limbic system in the brainstem. It wires in feeling and image and sensation and movement. So that's actually when we're rewiring the deepest trauma, that's where we need to be working. And the somatic sexology sessions give us the skills and the practices to work at that level, both once again, without touching people, if that's the way that we're called to work or need to work, or they're called to work, or in something that's more up and moving, more psychodrama role play, and might include touch led by the client. And the third level is the somatic body work, where we're bringing our skill sets as body workers, whether that's Reiki, whether that's a massage therapist, whether that's cranial sacral, whether that's Traeger, whether that's Hakomi, whatever our body work skill sets are, we're now combining those with the somatic and the sexological, collaborative, intuitive modalities to support the client to once again come home to themselves. And in many cases, do some of the deeper releases of trauma.
And that is one of my favorite sessions to offer, because my love language is touch. And like one of the things that I, creating events as well, helping people to come together and be able to, to experience that conscious nurturing, loving touch that can heal is really, really magical to me. And I remember one of a training that I had with Francesca, now my colleagues and collaborated, is that she talks about like, we don't touch people's bodies, we touch people's soul. So that kind of like shifted a lot in me when, brought it into my practice as a somatic body worker. So why a year-long training to become a top-level body, mind, areas facilitator? Why not a 3 weeks, or 8 days, or 3 months? I know that we both, Francesca and I, we both love education. And, we usually always find ourselves that every month or every year we're doing intensive or short retreat and training. But why? Why do you think a 1 year long training, Francesca, the way that we're designing it, is going to be important and beneficial for our students?
My sense is this also comes from our lived experience. So I love my taking weekend trainings, 2-hour trainings, like you said, the 3-week trainings, the 4-month training. I love some of the, shorter trainings and enjoy like a dip. And I really do get something from them. But what I notice is that when I've taken the 7-month, the 8-month, the 9-month, or the year-long trainings, that actually transforms my life. It's not just I'm taking in knowledge, I'm literally shifting who I'm being. And sometimes when I take a shorter training, although very intensive, it's kind of like how I personally experience many medicine journeys, is that they give me a window, not a door. They show me that something's possible, which is so important. That's one of the 5 pillars of healing and wholeness, is a vision of what's possible, a new vision. But then I actually need time and integration and practice and support to shift my life. Otherwise, that vision of what's possible can really shrink, and I'm not able to integrate as much as I actually saw I was capable of, or the healing that I even got to in that week or that weekend. So one of the reasons that this is a year-long program is for the integrity of each of our own personal work and breakthroughs and healings. I often say we cannot take people where we haven't gone. We cannot take people where we haven't gone. So this year is really transforming us, and we're each dying to who we think we are so we can be reborn as who we're meant to be on the next level. The other piece of that is that clinical practice. Every month we're looking at case studies. So as somebody who has at times been a clinician working alone, something comes up in my private practice and I think, oh my God, like, how do I deal with this? Or I dealt with it the best I knew how. But I wonder if it could have been dealt with better, or if there was some other way to handle it. And every month we'll be taking case studies from each other. We also have our own case studies to bring in if, for whatever reason, some of the students are feeling a little shy or don't have one to bring in that month, so that we can look at how does what we're learning apply and get integrated with this couple or this person or their trauma or their resistance or that I don't like them. You know, I don't know if you've ever had that. I mean, none of us is like this, of course, where maybe we don't feel connected to one of our clients. How do we work with that? Maybe at times we feel very connected. Wow. Like, wow, this is my favorite client. And really being able to, in a clinical community, look at how do we work with our own attraction? Are there times and ways that that can be healing? Are there times and ways that that can be damaging? And in our general energy, sexual healer, tantric healer communities, there's a lot of BDSM communities. There's a lot of discussion right now about practitioners who are predators and who are breaking boundaries and using their power dynamic in a way that's harmful for their clients or students. And we are absolutely connected to those community of peers that are setting the standard for what is ethical behavior in a practitioner or in a teacher. And if and when we're using hands-on, if and when we're using hands-in, how to actually practice that in a way that's ethical and not predatory. And part of that is that year-long inner work as well. Some of the most important work that Lucia and I talk about together, like when we're privately hanging out, is our shadow work, is the next level of facing something that we don't want to see about ourselves and bringing that into consciousness of love. And we are that community that supports that consciousness with love. Without love, we have shame. With shame, we have avoidance, hiding, and compulsion and addiction. So all of that really takes and benefits from that time, along with, I just said it in passing, but it's hardly in passing, a year to build community, collaboration. The year-long 8-month, 9-month programs I've taught, my students have gone on to teach together, to be best friends together, to create programs and ways to work together. It's resourced them on so many levels to have this really beautiful, deep time to develop relatedness as peers.
And one of the things I'm very passionate about long-term commitment is the word commitment itself. Is saying yes to myself for 1 year. It is an incredible commitment. Many times we afraid of commitment. Sometimes we okay with committing to other people. That's what we think. But we're still having a real struggle about committing to ourselves. And one of the things is like we talk about, like we cannot take someone in a journey that we haven't taken ourselves. So, many times as coaches, we lead our clients to 6 months, 1 year, 2-year journeys. And that's the reason why we can take them, is because we have gone through that. We have done those times. We have invested the time, the energy, the resources. We have become resourceful of like how it is that we're going to work out a schedule to make sure that I come first. And then from this place, I can create the rest. As a business person, like one of the things I'm really passionate about is that many times we see and witness a lot of our colleagues struggling with the business models, struggling with how to create business, struggling how to create the offerings, struggling how to share with the world what they really desire to share, and like how they're going to be able to help people, how they're going to be able to share the gift and the medicine, right? So, to me, like this whole entire 1 year, it will be creating this amazing container where all of us together can help each other out, bringing our business to a level that we maybe are not right now. Like, how can we help ourselves in this world with this in this paradigm of healing, level up our business? So it's not just gonna be the beautiful lessons and coaching sessions and somatic sessions and body work sessions and like what kind of certifications we're gonna get and create, but how it is that we're gonna run this business in a way that is ethical and also that is that it give us result, right? Like, what is our return on investment? Not just in like the way that we're sharing this with the world, but also how it is that we're creating wealth and abundance for ourselves and our families. Really, really important, coming from a place of abundance versus a scarcity. Because together, every single one of us in this program, we're going to help each other out to create that level of abundance. Because when one person in our community reach that level of abundance, it ripple out the energy and we all start benefiting from it because we're working together. We're not going to be working alone anymore. One of the things that I get frustrated all the time is that after every training, I'm always come back home and be like, okay, how it is I'm going to use this and how I'm going to be able to implement it in my business. And sometimes I tell you, I feel alone doing it this. And here, my commitment and our commitment is to make sure that you don't feel alone anymore. Whatever gift you already own and possess and the medicine that you are, and whatever you learn from this training, that we come together and you are not alone. You're not alone anymore, because it is time for all of us. It's time for all of us to share the medicine that we are.
I love that. And one of the things I want to highlight about Lucia and also myself is that you get this range of how to work and how to be successful. And Lucia, both of us are mothers. Both of us have rich communities in our own life, commitments in our own life, and yet we work differently. So Lucia is going to bring in a lot of her business magic around having a center, doing events, doing private practice, having a family events and a center. And like, I just like bow to her lotus feet with that. And I'm excited to hear from her more about that for me. And then one of the amazing things that I bring is, how do you achieve credibility in a clinical community? I have a bachelor's. I don't have a master's. I'm currently working on my PhD, but I don't have it yet. And most of my prestige around the world just came, I had a bachelor's. You could actually have really high level credibility and prestige, maybe without even finishing your bachelor's. So I have that information. How do you achieve that kind of business, world impact credibility? How do you travel and teach around the world and also see clients around the world? And I'll be bringing that piece of the business information. I want to get back to that sense of the year-long commitment. And I just want to warn you that during the year, I'll have times where I'll think, oh, God damn it, I don't want to go to that weekend. Or, geez, I'm too tired, or I don't want to teach that class, or, why did I make this a year? That one of the things Lucia pointed to is a year-long commitment is a canvas for the places that we get stuck or stopped, the places where we say, I can't go any further, to come up. It will. And it's an opportunity in a very loving, collaborative, supportive, healing community to have breakdown to breakthrough, to become bigger than we thought we could be, to face those imposter syndromes and that I don't have enough time, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough, something to really live the life I want to live, to really move through those and open up to the next level of our gifts to the world. We want your gifts to be out in the world in the most beautiful way. And that's also why a year-long commitment is the journey of the stirring that's going to be there, and the support for your business and your credibility. You are then in Lucia's lineage and my lineage. My name is supporting your name in the world. Lucia's name is supporting your name out in the world.
Yeah, and the level of commitment of integrity. I remember myself struggling, signing up clients for as a coach, right? For 1 year program. And it was because I myself couldn't do 1 year coaching for myself. I couldn't take my clients into that 1 year until I was committed and I was able to break that, whatever was holding me back from that commitment for myself for 1 year. Once I did that, it was easier for me to bring people for 1 year experience because I went through it. I know what it is. I know what it takes. I know what is going to come up, and all the things that all the obstacles that may come up, that all, like Francesca talking about the saboteurs, like all these voices are going to come up, and we're not going to be able to take a client to where we have not been and where we have allowed ourselves to go. So really, really important. So as Francesca, we were talking about, between the two of us, I have been in this realm since I was 15 years old, learning sacred sexuality and everything else. Francesca and her journey, we have like around 55 years combined trainings and therapeutic tantra, Taoism, sexual wellness, somatic healing, psychology, neurobiology, trauma recovery, energy mastery, shadow work. I could say that just between you and I, Francesca, when it comes to shadow work, we have 100 years of shadow work. Esoterism, mysticism, Gnostic, integrative holistic therapist, nonviolent communication, bioneuromotion therapy, and 4 traditions of shamanism. So we bring a lot to the table, a lot. So now that we have shared with you some aspect of the Tantric Shamanic Somatic Healing Training, pitched by short, Francesca, tell us a little bit more about you. Who are you at this point now?
Well, who I am is almost 65. In July 4th, I'll be 65. And I am an international expert in the field of sexuality, consciousness, healing. I'm actually one of the world's experts in the therapeutic use of BDSM and the therapeutic use of Tantra in recovery from trauma. I am a professor at the International Institute of Clinical Sexology, where I'm also getting my PhD in clinical sexology. And I am, I regularly conduct workshops around the world, including the Netherlands, Italy, Malta, Israel, England, Ireland, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, and England. And I have developed and teach the 5-pillar method of holistic healing and also the inner aspect method, which I regularly teach to psychotherapists and clinicians in a 25 CE program that lasts a year, that the clinicians also go through to just deepen specifically in the inner aspect method. But I think the most important thing to know about who I am and what I bring is that I do say I'm not going to take you where I haven't gone. And that what I teach is road tested, not just in what I do with my clients, but what I do at home with my relationships, with my beloved, how I've raised my son, how I touch someone that I'm dating, how I train someone that I'm dating. Anybody who dates me gets trained in the inner aspect method immediately. So this is integrated in all of my life. And who I am today, I have to say, is very, very proud of being a human co-creativity with my world rather than a human reactivity from my world. And I'm a recovering sex and love addict. I'm a recovering compulsive overeater, recovering codependent. And in all of those, in recovery, recovering reactive shamer, blamer, criticizer who felt like a victim of life. And that's not who I am today and where I practice today. I say recovering because I like to remember that the slip is not far, that I am human, that I could make a mistake, that I could slip back into any of my addictions. And if I do, I'm going to love myself, out myself, get help, and come back. I'm not going to split and feel like I have to put up a false front to you and say, oh, everything's fine all the time. I never slip. I never get depressed. I'm always in complete peace and harmony. That would be a lie. I'd much rather tell you about how I slip, when I slip, and how I get back, and how I work with the deep, dark times of depression, loss, rejection, because life is interwoven with suffering and joy for all beings. But who we are when we're challenged, when we're suffering, when we slip, when we're compulsive, and how we come back from that is the true test of who we are as human beings and as healers. So that's what I bring to you, including you have absolutely my support to out me when you feel like there's some part of my shadow that's barking at you that I haven't seen yet. My students have been amazing at being reflections that allow me to deepen into deeper accountability and responsibility around the human being that I want to be in the world, and that comes through the shadow.
I am Lucia, Gabriela. And one of the things I am really passionate and committed to is building community. One of the things that you will see through my whole entire work, yes, I am a relationship coach, woohoo, intimacy coach, yes, hooray. I am a somatic therapist. I do an incredible work with hands, like somatic body work and helping my clients to get the emotions out of the system, to get focused, to get results. Yes, I'm great. I love it. It's like divine talk through me, divine talk through my hand. It's like I'm a channel, I'm a priestess, I'm a dark priestess because I love dark shadow work. I'm really passionate. I love to be in my heart and I love to be in my body. And my practice of commitment for the past 25 years has been the commitment to my body, to the commitment to my well-being, to the commitment to my energy. Because long story short, healing cancer at a very young age in a very holistic, natural way, it was a portal and an opening for me to become aware that I am a powerful individual and that my mind and my emotions, they matter and they actually were creating the reality that I was living in that moment. Many people tell me, oh my God, Lucia, you're strong. I don't know how you do it. You do this, you did. And it comes to a point that embracing who I am at the deepest core and be committed to embrace myself, to be open and loving to myself, allows me to be where I am right now in my life. Facing all these obstacles, facing all these struggles that I may be able to face, but I do it with grace and ease. Why? Because my mindset and my emotions are like, I'm really committed to check in and be in integrity that those emotions and those thoughts will not affect my body, because I will not allow these energies to affect me again in my body. My body is sacred in a way that I listen to my body. If something is not resonating well, I speak up. I say something. I stand up. And this is something that I bring into, especially with my somatic body work experiences, where helping all, my clients or even people that want to learn from me somatic work is like how it is that we can actually embody our truth when we hold a container for other people to heal at a deeper level. How it is that we can embody that. And that is going to come to listening to ourselves and trust ourselves more than anything. Great. The information is going to be amazing. You're going to learn so much. We're going to have so many topics, so many great insights, breakthroughs. But at the end of the day, we are committed to make sure that you embody your medicine, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. And that's what I bring into the table. I bring that level of passion, the level of holding each other accountable, holding each other in support, that you are not alone. I love to build communities. As you can tell, I am the founder of the center here, Nuna Holistic Retreat Center, founder of the Sacred Love Temple, where we do a Tantric Shamanic event. and community, founder of the Sarasota Dark Temple. Where actually, this is my picture of being a dom, like my sensual dominatrix, right? Where it's like bringing people together to practice conscious kink BDSM and actually educate our community and educate the world what actually that is. And now have like idea, misunderstanding of what kink BDSM is. We're educating people, we're educating everyone, because I tell you, the lack of education and ignorance is what make people judge us for what it is that we're practicing and we're experiencing. So I'm also the creator of, founder of like, and visionary of Soli Luna Festival. For anybody that was at the festival, I'm still getting amazing testimonials of how it helped them. And it wasn't much because of what I did. It was the community that came together, the energy, the container, the support that we had. And I feel like more than anything, the intention. And actually, many people, Francesca, asked me how it is that you did it with like, you hit the 35-degree weather. It was the coldest weekend in the whole entire decade in Florida. Our tent blew up, but this happened, a $22,000 piece broke and things got on fire. How were you able to handle and to be able to hold the container still with everything that happened? Embodying the commitment that we have with ourselves, in that to be in connection with our body and not allow anything to interfere with the well-being and integrity of our body. That's why I was able to be where I was and hold the container that I held, because I was committed to not let anything affect my well-being. And it didn't matter what was it. And that clarity and focus was going to be there. I couldn't get myself involved with the drama, with the trauma, with the karma. I couldn't get myself involved with the emotional chaos. No, because here we go. When the leader and the dominant energy is strong and in integrity, everyone is going to benefit from it. Everyone. I could not collapse, because if I collapse as a leader, everybody else will collapse with me. If I believe that my space was not contained in a way that it was sacred, free of judgment, free of fear, free of all any BS. You know, if I could not hold that container, everything else will ripple and affect everybody else. So as a leader myself, I could not give myself permission to collapse, period. I collapsed a couple of weeks after that, like maybe weeks and weeks and weeks, not collapsing, but like I finally cried it out when somebody else held the container for me to really surrender in a women retreat. That's when I actually went deeper and allowed myself to release all that strong, you know, all that strength that I am. I was able to release it when somebody else held the container for me, because a leader had to know how to be held in the leadership to be able to come back and be a stronger leader. So as you can tell, I'm all about leadership and I'm all about that. So that's who I am. I'm really excited. I'm really passionate about that. I love myself so much. I love my shadow. And yes, so I am a mother of two. And I always say that my firstborn, she is my master and my teacher and my mentor, because I tell you, like when it comes to this whole journey, I have been able to transform and evolve in a greater way because of my children, because I learned so much from them. So that's also something that I bring into, where when it comes to hierarchy, especially when it comes to family, there's no hierarchy. Everyone in my family is my mentor, my teacher. So what else include Teach program, the Teach certification program? Training. We have the healing for women, healing for men, the therapeutic kink, and the sensual healing for couples. I can tell you that I personally have taken Francesca, because she's bringing this, the healing for women and the all of this amazing concept. And I took her training, the women and the therapeutic kink. And I tell you, this is the reason why we are co-creating this together. Because when I went to her training, I was like, I need you in Florida. I need you to create this with me. So this has been a 5-year journey of finally, Francesca, finally, you say yes to me.
Finally. And, you know, I just want to say something about this too, is that, so the the somatic integrative healing of women was 4 days. The somatic integrative healing of men was 4 days. The therapeutic kink was 4 days. And the sensual healing of couples was 4 days. So basically, we've taken this and business coaching. We've taken the inner aspect method. We've taken the best of each of our backgrounds and put them into a year-long training, because people were actually asking, how can this, each one of these was an individual certification. And people were asking, like, how can this be a comprehensive certification? How can this all work together? And, you know, one of the things logistically, some people are asking about logistics. The reason that we separated out that there's like one immersive weekend every 3 months is that we noticed, you know, I was teaching these individually every 3 months, that we noticed that people can come back out, you know, that even people who are flying in could make it every few months. And I want to say too, that for people who might be coming in from another area, that we're happy to help you that weekend that you're here, come a couple days early, stay a few days longer, and work out of the center and get some of your clinical hours in. Yes, there are clinical hours to be certified. Get some of your clinical hours in right while you're there for the weekend and make some money, you know, right away. Start by making money, get the support right there. And so we've designed it so that you're making money, so that you're starting to practice, that you're getting the support that you need, and that you're getting this comprehensive program.
Yeah. And one of the important things to say is that, yes, we're going to have all this amazing, incredible information. And yes, we start in August, but you're going to have homework before you come in August. So we're going to be sharing great information, videos, audios, PDF, journals for you to start working on your training before you come for the, you know, to your actual in-person training. So every month there's going to be a module that is going to open up for you to actually do the work and start be prepared, because we have so much information that is amazing, that there's so much information that you can actually do it in the comfort of your own home, at the comfort of your own time, even with your children around. You can read, you can look, you can watch, you can do this, you can do your journals. But when we come here, this is the thing that I requested from Francesca, is that when we meet in person, we get hands-on, like we really do the work. That sometimes when we leave a training, we are like, okay, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do my intake form, how I'm going to coach my client, how I'm going to incorporate it. No, we actually going to be doing, when we here in person, we are going to be exchanging our intake form. We're going to be coaching each other. We're going to be working with each other. We're going to be putting into practice what we're learning and add more information. So the coolest thing is that this is a very custom experience. So yes, we do have our, Francesca and I, we do have like an idea of like, okay, this is the curriculum. This is what with the modules that we have for every month. This is what we're going to provide every month. This is what we're going to offer you to be ready and prepared when you come every single weekend when it's in person. But believe it or not, it's going to be also be customized, because let's say something else come up. Let's say there's a different requirement, like a different request from a student, or there's something else that needs to be addressed on the moment, like right away, but it's not in the curriculum. We will make it happen. We will make sure that we cover that. So just know that it's not just going to be, you're going to come to teach program and the training and be like, oh, this is the curriculum. There's a lot of things that, yes, we do have the foundation, but it's going to be customized for you. Because remember, we're also going to have the customized certification for you, like whatever you desire to call yourself and be certified by. So again, back to the logistic, we're going to be meeting 4 weekends. They actually have 4 weekends, August, November, February, and July at the weekends that we'll be here at the Sacred Love Temple, and also Sarasota Dark Temple, which is a conscious dungeon, King BDSM community. But April 6th to the 9th is going to be at the Sol y Luna Festival in Miami, Homestead. Where, we're going to talk more about that. There's people will be able to fly into Sarasota. We have international airport. When you become part of our student, with people that come in here in Sarasota, they may be able to get an Airbnb together, rent a house together, be in a hotel together. Just to let you know, we decided to create this for you because we need you. The world needs you and needs your medicine. That's what we're here for. So another thing is that, so we're talking about the in-person trainings, weekends that we add in, is that we're definitely going to record what we do in the weekends for you to see it and listen to it again, because I'm a kind of person, I'm more of the audio and visual. So yes, I can take a lot of great notes. Francesca can teach you how to take great notes. She's an amazing note taker. Oh my holy cows. I'm like, this woman is like incredible. I am not that great at that. I do my little circles and pictures and things like that, which works for me. When I take notes for my clients, all you're gonna see is like clouds and circles and map, and that's how my brain works, to put all the pieces together. So that's another topic that we'll be able to cover, like how to take notes, right, Francesca? But at the same time, we're gonna be taking videos and we're gonna put it back so you can listen to it, because many times we had to listen to it many times to actually get it. I'm that one of those persons, and or watch it multiple times to actually get it. So we're gonna have that available. And then there's a possibility that we're going to create a makeup weekend. So we're still talking about it, because we had to actually look at the ability, like when Francesca Gentile is available to travel here, or we had to do it in a way that is convenient. So we're still working on that. And another thing is that we also going to be able to do it through Zoom. If you can come that weekend, we are going to be working on to see that we can have an IT system where you can actually participate via Zoom. And if there's a practice that we actually need, that is a hands-on, that is involving another person, you may be able to have a model with you where you are watching, let's say in another state, or you couldn't make it because you got sick or who knows why, right? But you will be able to have something that you can still be able to attend, even via Zoom, if you can come to one of the weekends. But we're definitely going to have a requirement for the live weekend. How many times you are going to be required to attend the live weekends? What do you want to share on that, Francesca?
We're on the same page with that. That at the most you'll be able to like zoom into one or possibly make up one later, but you won't be able to get your certificate until you actually have the sessions that are they're clinically supervised, not meaning that we're there with you, but that there's a form that you fill out, there's information that you write down, there's questions that you answer, so that we know that you're following a particular method while you're learning with us, so that we can certify you in this program. And ultimately you'll work, you'll weave this into the way you work. And we're training you in a particular combination of methods that our credibility is standing on, that so you won't be able to miss 4 weekends or do it all on Zoom. That won't be possible, because the weekends are designed to be hands-on, kinesthetic, energetic practices that are foundational for how you're going to be able to integrate your practice in the world.
Correct. So how does the online experience will look like is that we're going to have 2 online Zoom calls per month. That will be every other week. And the first one is going to be a 90-minute support group coaching call. And we created this because we desire for you to know that you're not alone in your journey, in your personal journey, in your experience. You are in a community that care and you matter, that you're important. Many times we go into the journey, even though that is a training, a certification, and we're learning to help how we're going to help other people. And sometimes we still feel left out, that we're not helping ourselves. So these 90 minutes support coaching call is pretty much about us, how we're going to support each other in our own personal journey. Maybe there's something happens, right? And we need support. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that personal breakthrough. So when I, in these long programs that I'm with the students, this is the point where they say, my partner and I are having this problem. I had an affair. They had an affair. I get so irritated with my child and I can't stop yelling at them. This is where we're really looking at how do the practices, the rewiring of the brain, the somatic healing, the breakthroughs, how do we integrate this into our own lives so that we can be then turning around and sharing with someone in front of us, I've struggled with not yelling at my own child, or I've struggled with repairing from an affair and cheating that either I did or my partner did, so that we actually have the integrity and people feel that. It lands in their nervous system in a healing way to hear our truth in process. So this is that 90 minutes where in a confidential container, where nothing that you say there is going to be shared externally to the world. In a confidential container, we have an opportunity to be coached and move through something to the other side. And as one of us is healing, the personal is universal. One person going through something is all of us going through it.
Another benefit of this call are that you're actually going to be able to experience live how we can help each other and coach each other, and actually how it is that Francesca may be able to help one individual to deal, or how it is that I may be able to help somebody, or if somebody else have a tool technique in a call and they decide to share that, we're going to be able to do that. So we're all going to be learning from each other. There's not yet, we do have Francesca and I that we're going to be co-creating this, but we're co-creating it with you, which is the secret. The secret is that we're doing it with you. So we all are here to collaborate and co-create something amazing. The other call that is the 90-minute call that we have is the case study that we do. Is pretty much, let's say I have a session this week with a client and something came up. Our call is going to be designed to actually address whatever has happened in the session. If something came up, if I need another tool, another solution, or something came up that triggers me, or that I, like maybe be how accountable with the integrity. So it's pretty much going to be about the clinical, like how it is that we can support you while you are actually doing your clinicals.
And I want to say something really exciting about this, because I am a certified clinical sexologist now, being trained in my PhD. And I'm also a teacher at the PhD level. You're getting that. You're getting that. And what this means is that you'll be able to collaborate and talk to other clinicians. There are psychotherapists, there are psychologists, there are people out there that are longing for you, because their ethics, what they actually promise to when they get licensed, is they're not going to touch their clients, and they're not going to do certain types of work that you can do. Some of them aren't trained in some of the sexuality issues that you are trained in or will be trained in. So they will want to work with you in what's being called a biopsychosocial model, where you are part of the care team and you'll be able to speak clinical. You'll be able to actually talk with them in their language, which is part of your credibility.
And that is super cool. I have experienced that myself. Just recently, I have many different clinical sexologists reaching out to me to ask me questions about kink, BDSM, and the communities. And, they use me as a resource for them to help them with their clients, right? Or if they need to refer to somebody else, I help them to send referrals. So it is great to be able to be at that level of working with clinicians. So the other aspect of an online experience is going to be where you actually going to be able to have every single week, 4 times a month. We call it 4 hours peer practice call per month. So you're going to be able to have a peer with you in the program and be able to share 30 minutes and 30 minutes. That's the way that we're going to be able to learn and to have more practice. For us to really embody it, practice is the key. So the more we practice with people, with our clients, with our friends and family, the more we practice with our own peers, the better and the stronger our muscle will be when we actually, for example, this is like such a great opportunity for anybody that wants to be on the certification for coaching. If you don't have any like licensed massage therapist to be able to do the body work or any kind of like other kind of like skills and tools, if you want to start with the coaching aspect of it, these will be a perfect opportunity for you to develop that skill of being a coach, teach coach, where you're going to be able to help your clients through coaching, right? Because you had a whole entire year. Actually, if you have 50 weeks, 50 weeks in the year, you're going to have 50 hours of actual real training and coaching experience with a peer. So that is like such a great benefit.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about that, is that my students that have done this, some of them are still doing it. Like they're still doing it after the, program ended. They got so much out of sharing these calls with their buddy that they're still doing it. It becomes like co-counseling, and it's priceless in its own right.
Yes, it is really powerful. And then we're going to have the 10 clinical case studies that you will be required to get to be certified. So we will address more of that when you're in the program. But we're asking, many trainings talks about like having like 10 or 5 case studies. We invite our students to have one client and do 2 case studies with them. And the reason why we're asking this is the key ingredient, follow up, the follow-up effect on it. Many people signing clients and they just do it for one time. And when they don't follow up, they actually don't know what shifted, what changed, or what wanted to be modified. So you can have one client and have 4 sessions with them and have 4 case studies with them where you actually did 1 initial consultation or session and then 3 follow-up, because that actually is going to give you more power in your practicals.
One of the things you'll get a very particular intake form to work with. And the intake and learning how to work with an intake. An intake is not a checklist. It's not like, oh, did you have this happen? Did you have that happen? Did you go through this or did you go through that? An intake becomes a powerful healing tool in itself. People have a core longing to be seen, felt, and heard accurately and heal the missed attunement from childhood. So how we do the intake is transformational. And so the first session with any new client is always an in-depth attunement and intake process. And then there may also be some modality, some practice, some methodology that goes into that first session. But one of the questions in the intake is, what would you want to get out of working with me over time? Because one session is rare that one session is going to be everything that someone needs. So we want to start actually designing and having our clients understand that recovery, discovery, uncovery of who we are and who we're meant to be is an ongoing process, deserves support. And those 2 sessions, we are wanting you to at least start with a session and a follow-up, that that person can absolutely go on with you to be a client that you might see for months, sometimes for years, and see their life, their relationship, their intimacy with themselves and others completely transformed because of you. But we're starting that with at least 2 sessions with the client. And it's something really magical happens when you say to someone, you'd be doing me a favor. You'd be doing me a favor by having these sessions with me. Really allows people to step forward with the part of themselves that likes to help. And it's another way of accessing clients, accessing people who might not come in for help otherwise, and really growing who you are in the world. And by the way, we'll be teaching how to work with family and friends in a way that's ethical and safe for you and them. Like, what is the container that we would hold for a friend or a beloved that might be distinct from a stranger? And how do we do each of those with integrity?
And a great place to do a practical, a clinical, is at the Soli Luna Tantric Shamanic Festival. This is a bonus for the program, for the training, is that you will be able to have full access to the festival as one of our facilitators, support facilitators, which means you're going to be able to help us to hold the container for ceremonies and rituals and be behind the scenes. And at the same time, you're going to be able to do your practicals at the Teach Tantric Shamanic Somatic Healing tent, where you're actually going to be able to work one-on-one with actual client participant. Such a great opportunity to get your clinicals done, and also to build community, and to also have your name out there. Francesca, are you excited about that part? I think like you're really, really excited about that part.
I'm super excited, because I would say that sometimes, we all get busy. By the way, you might not know this, those of you who are watching, but I know that one of the people that are watching is kind of, probably doing other things while they're watching. And that's perfect. When you're watching, you get to be doing laundry. You get to be making dinner. When this homework, you get to be interacting with your life while you're going through your homework with us. And we're totally fine with that. But sometimes our life gets so busy that some of the more hands-on practices, maybe we feel like we don't have time for. So we've built into this year that you will have time, because you're going to be at this amazing festival. And some of you, I know, will actually want to learn how to do your own festivals. And being part of this festival and being part of this program is learning to run your own center, run your own festival, if that's something you're called to. And the ease of being able to see clients at a festival. You also can, once again, accept donations for the work while you're there. And it's like such an useful win-win to like tie it all together. And the festival is amazing. If you haven't been there, I taught there this past year and I loved it. The clients that I sent there loved it. And it was really life-changing for the people that were there. I'm very, very picky about containers. And it's one of the things why I'm teaching with Lucia is the quality of the container that she holds, the safety is so stunning. And you'll be able to experience that as part of your journey. It's like you get that as a bonus, meaning like instead of having to pay for the festival, you get to be included in the festival. You get to become be doing your practice at the festival, get your clinical hours at the festival, and get paid at the festival, and learn how to be a festival event producer. So yeah, it's an amazing gift that comes into this year-long program.
And one of the things that I'm excited about this part is that all our students will be the actual healers and therapists allowed to be able to do work in the space, because they have gone through our program and training and values and standards. So, we're going to be really, really excited about that. We won't be having like healers from outside. Only a student will be able to offer services there. So it's really, really exciting. Now, this is my juicy, orgasmic, exciting part, the business bootcamp. I'm all about business. I have trained with amazing, incredible business. Like one of my top has been Tony Robbins, Business Mastery, incredible information, incredible had literally helped me to where I was like being a single mom, living, actually even having food stamp and like struggling and all that stuff, and being able to have the tools and the skills and the embodiment of being a business owner, right? Like the business creator, the business owner, not just an operator of a business, but being a business owner, and be able to be where I am right now. So I have also learned from Evan Pagan marketing, and like we have like Murray Folio marketing and business, and Alexis Neely marketing, business, finances, and like legal aspect of business. So I have learned from like amazing, incredible, top of the line business, marketing, and business legal gurus, if we put them, those names, that I have I have invested so much in them. Like just in business, I have invested so much to learn how to run the business. So I'm really, really excited that anything that I have learned with these amazing, incredible mentors of mine in this realm of business and marketing, I will bring it here. And it's not just about like loading you with more content and loading you with more stuff. No, this is like where we're actually going to get hands-on the business aspect of it. Where's your bio? We're gonna dance and shake it up, and we're gonna embody our creatrix, a business creator. We're gonna embody and like get that soul out, and we are going to tune in with our soul and with our heart. What is my business soul? Like learn to listen to the soul of our business, and learn to listen to the offering a business has, because believe it or not, our mind may say, I want to offer this to the world, but your business is like, no, I don't want to offer that. That's not what I want. The soul of the business doesn't want to offer that. So I have to learn to listen to the soul of my business. Soli Luna is such a great manifestation of that. I am a service of Soli Luna. Even though that I'm the producer, visionary, creator, I'm the service. I'm in service of Soli Luna. Soli Luna, it has own soul. It's incredible soul that you can feel it, you can taste it. And I'm in service to be the priestess that hold the container for that soul to thrive and to shine. So I'm really, really excited that business bootcamp is gonna be a soul business bootcamp. So not just more loading content on it. Another bonus that we have, the Orgasmic Alchemy program, is one of my coaching programs that my clients have gone through. Like I have had like over 100 of clients that have gone through it, like different, like between 7 to 12 modules. So I'm still always adding modules to my clients. They love that. Really transformational. You will be able to have access to that. And that program itself goes together with what it is that we're bringing into Tish. And also the way that the 5 method that Francesca talks about, like the 5 well-being healing method, they all come together, that they all coming together. So coming to an end, to wrap up soon, because we've been in this amazing call, very passionate about sharing, is that we do have around 96 hours of intensive in-person training weekend, 36 hours of the 2 90-minute Zoom calls per month, 50 hours of 60 minutes per call per week, 40 hours, 60 hours, 10 hours, all the hours. At the end of it, we're looking at 376 hours that we have been able to count it. And we're not talking about the invisible hours that we know they're gonna be there, because knowing that this is our first year doing it together, we know we want to be realistic, and something that Francesca and I, we really committed is to be in integrity, to do not offer you the wall, like not offer you anything and under deliver. Knowing myself, I'm an over deliverer, but I don't offer you too much. So right here, right now, this number is like literally just letting you know the realistic way that we're seeing it. But we know that it's going to be a lot more hours. So just know that you're going to have to add extra hours there for the reading, for the watching the videos, for this, because we haven't calculated those hours yet. So we're not going to be over promising to under deliver. We actually are under promising, and we know between Francesca and I, we're going to over deliver. So I know how we work.
Going back to like the benefits, that this is a certification through the Tantric Shamanic Somatic Healer Program, but it's also a certification through the Somatic Integrative Healing Institute, which is my institute, which has that, more of that clinical side, should you choose to want to work that way. There's the practitioner page so that people will be able to search to find you. There's that support to get you out into the world in the next level of your business. So where you already are strong and where there's something you need to work on in terms of your business model. You already know where there's something that you feel very strong as a human being, and where something feels more fragile, more reactive, that it holds you back. This is the kind of program when you feel like something's calling you. You feel like you're ready. It's time. Where you're feeling like, if not now, then when? The world needs me to go to another level, to a bigger level, to get my word out there to the world, my service out there to the world. And you also know that you want to go to the next level of your integrity with how you're practicing that in the world. I would say this is not for you if you're thinking, wow, how can I just, just take a weekend course and be done with it? How can I hide out? How can I make sure that the voice of my imposter, or the voice of my insecurity, or the voice of my, where I'm not in integrity, how can I just make sure that I keep avoiding those? Then this would not be the right program for you. And if you're thinking, integrity is important, I want a world of integrity. I want a world where people who call themselves healers, leaders, teachers are proud of who they are and are saying, you get to look at my private life. And it's not perfect, but I'm proud of the process that I'm in to ongoingly heal what is in need of healing in my own life. And I know how to hold myself tenderly, and I can hold you tenderly. Really inviting people to look for themselves. And if you have any questions, sometimes in me, I'm called and I'm concerned. It's like, I want to, but I don't know. I want to, but can I? I want to, but I'm worried about time, or me, or my kids, or my partner, or how do I do all the things in my life and do this, or something else. If something's calling you and something else is concerning you or stopping you, then I'd say have a personal call with myself or Lucia to really look. Is this the time? Is this the program? Is this right for you or not? And just to get clear and get kind of flat, what is it? And then if you're really called, but there's just something really it feels like a little bit more minor about logistics or about finances, we'll work that out. What I've seen in my own life is that when I'm clear of my calling, then it's just the next level of how could it work? What else is possible? How could it work? What else is possible? And stepping through and into something bigger to be who I'm meant to be in the world. Looking at the finances are often a piece for someone. There's something to really look at and sometimes to have a breakthrough in. And for some people, a year-long program with 4 payments of $2,500, it's just like, yeah, that's fine. That's no big deal at all. I'm in, it's right for me. If you pay it all off at once, you get a discount. If you invite friends into the program, you get 10% off for every friend, or you could share with a friend. You could say, I'm going to invite a friend and take it with a friend. And we're each going to get, 5% off, which would be, we're each getting $500 off of our tuition. Hey, let's get some more friends. And you can keep adding how much off each of you is getting in your tuition by taking it together. What a great idea. So, and some of you, it's just going to be easy. You're going to feel like you can just do all of that. For some of you, you feel like maybe you have a little bit more time, and really reducing the cost is going to be important to you. So you would rather do a work trade. And we have several levels of work trade, but I want to let you know that work trade is a area of integrity, proactivity, follow through in your own right. And that, I've had amazing work trade people that are such a blessing in my life, take my whole programs, get their certification. It's such a win-win, and we're closer. Like we develop this close friendship because we're working together all the time. And occasionally I have somebody who overpromises and underdelivers. And sometimes they're going to be asked to leave the program. So I really invite us to look inside and say, I'd rather have people under promise and over deliver, to say I only have those 2 hours a week, and then recognize you could actually do 4, and then we can always shift that around, or say, well, I only have 4 hours a week, and then recognize you could do 8, rather than saying you could do 8 and then feeling ashamed and not showing up and recognizing that you can't do it. With a certain amount of wiggle, we could go from 8 back to 4, as long as that finances gets, instead of paying $12.50 in 4 payments, you're paying $17.50. And I would invite people to really look, what do I have available in time that I can fulfill with integrity? And then if it's like, oh, and now I don't know the money, then let's have that business breakthrough with you, so that immediately your finances are more abundant and the money shows up more easily for you. So we're happy to work with you in that. We're inviting an integrity of how we show up in the world for you, and how you're showing up for us, your family, the people you love, and the world.
Perfect. And if you decide to share this with a friend, as Francesca talked about, you get 10% toward your tuition, or you can share with your friend or something like that. So imagine if you bring 10 people into the program, your tuition will be free. Yay, hooray. Imagine if you bring 5 people into the program, into the training, 0.5% off, right? Like you only pay $5,000 to it. So really,
For the whole year. For the whole year.
For the whole year. So we're really excited. One of the things I always want to bring people, especially when it comes to the tuition part of it, I just want to give a little quick testimony on this. I could have not be able to charge $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 clients to work with me if I didn't pay that much money. Learning to be a coach, they always talk about these like high-end clients, right? Like having these high-end clients, and then you charge $5,000 for 6 months to work with them, like once a week or every other week or something like that. And then you can charge $10,000. Some coaches charge $50,000 to work with them for 1 entire year. And the more I have connected with those coaches, of like high-end coaches, the money that they charge is also the money that they have personally invested in themselves in the coaching program. So I invested like over $40,000 just to work with Tony Robbins. And when the moment I was able to charge $10,000, it was like, you know what? I know what it is to pay $40,000 for a training. I know what it is like. It's not just like this is about like, college degree or university degree because you have student loans and things like that. But when actually you pay out of pocket, I remember just doing the transfer of $20,000, the first transfer of $20,000 to Tony Robbins Corporation for all the events and the programs and business mastery and all that stuff. I was like, wow, that was the biggest investment. And I was, broke at one point because I got money from like a car accident that I have. So it was like I invested everything. I don't tell everyone to do this, but I did it because I had faith in myself and I believed that I could do it. My whole family was against it. They were like, oh my God, how can you put all your money into one bucket? And I did it. And I was committed. I put my head in and I put my head out. I was committed. I did it. And I was, everything I have grown my business is because everything I learned, I have put it into practice. And it's not much about investing because you can, and I don't believe like getting myself in debt too much, but it's not about investing or putting yourself in debt. It's about like you invest, you maybe use debt to do what you decide to do in your life, but it's about actually use it and put into practice what you learn. So we are convinced that your financial investment is going to be well utilized because we are committed to hold you accountable to succeed, to hold you accountable to get things done, to hold you accountable to be the practitioner that you know that you are, and sometimes we're holding ourselves back. We're here to hold you accountable to bring your medicine. We need you. You know, money's money and the common goes and everything, but the medicine that you bring is unique and we need it right now in this world.
Woo! I just want to thank everybody who's been watching this and spending time with us, either live or recorded. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us, set up a personal time with us to actually kind of go through that together. And we just want to say that we appreciate you. We appreciate who you already are to come to this moment. And we feel honored to spend this time with you and are looking forward to whatever ways we get to support you in becoming more of who you're meant to be in the world. And we look forward to the next time until we meet again and again in the sacred.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for all of you who stay here all this time. Thank you. I love you. Love you. Have a great, wonderful day.